What's poppin', beautiful people? Welcome to the Miss Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best. We are here to go over our weekly review of Raising Kanan. This episode is titled Dark Matter. It is season 5, episode 6. I'm a little late with this review, so my apologies, you guys. I did have some schoolwork and other stuff that was going on, but I'm back and I'm gonna be on time with my review for tomorrow as well. But I do hope that everyone considers liking the video. You can also hype the video. I am newly monetized and it does help and support the channel. But whether you like the video or not, even if you just watch it from the bushes, thug life, and I appreciate you because you watching supports the channel. But let's get into this latest episode of Raising Kanan. Now, we know Raising Kanan was on a break. And it was on a break because Marvin whooped Kanan something vicious. Kanan got the whooping from Marvin that Tariq needed. Okay, Kanan got whooped. Okay, what they say in Eve's Bayou to little girl, hey, you ain't too big to beat. That's what Marvin said to Kanan. So Kanan had to take a little break. But now that the show is back, we see that Marvin has gone back to talk with Rock and he's asking more questions. He's like pretty much asking about like whether Kanan unaliving Lou was an accident or not. And Rock says that she does not know. And that's where I think Marvin starts to figure out like, okay, you know, regardless, this comes back to Rock because Rock, you messed up Kanan so bad that it came to this point. And then separate from that, you're still trying to protect him when he was there to unalive you. Like at that point, I get that you his mama, but if you try to take me out, I got nothing for you. I don't care if you did come out this womb. But we later see Kanan is looking like Marty Marr for the Martin fans. Y'all remember when Martin got in the ring? In that one episode that afterward, he was all knocked up in the face, knots in places they shouldn't be all on his face. That was definitely Kanan. But he's talking to Tiana, aka Jarita. We just gonna call her Jarita from this point forward because she ain't even gonna be Tiana no more after this episode, and that was her worker girl name. But he's talking to Tiana, and essentially she's helping him with his wounds, and she's wondering about whether his work is what got him in trouble or not. And she learns that Kanan knew Rock before he knew her, and she figures out like, so you only started dealing with me to get to your mama. So she figures that out, but it's not the worst thing because this little Negro got feelings for Jarita. And if y'all watch Power, we remember seeing Jarita still helping Kanan out. And I think his son's name was Sean, was just looking at his mama like, why is this happening? But it looks like Kanan and Jarita are getting serious. I am not surprised by that. I just think it's kind of funny that the way Kanan's character is, the woman that he like really rocked with was a 304. But I digress. Now, the whole episode, we watching Breeze lurking, and Breeze is lurking on some of the colorless that are with the mob because Stefano wants him to find out information so that they can find a way to attack whoever's close to Rock. Like, it's all coming to Rock. Stefano's not letting go of his beef with Rock, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. It's just an absolute mess. Now, Detective Garcia goes to see the supervisor. I believe his name is Captain Baptiste. I am so sorry, y'all. I should have notated that. So I'm going off of names, off of memory. My sincerest apologies, but I'm pretty sure it's either Captain Baptiste or Batiste, the bald black man. Anyway, Detective Garcia goes to him because he's working with Juke, and Juke has paid him a lot of money to get to the bottom of what happened with Famous, aka Sean Figueroa. So he's going to do this, and he asks Baptiste about some information because he was involved in the Figueroa case working with Kanan's real daddy. And pretty much Baptiste, or not Baptiste, but the captain he's talking to lets him know that anything that Baptiste has touched is likely tainted. So that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. We're going to discuss him confronting Captain Baptiste later, but I thought it was interesting. I thought it was very, very interesting. And it's looking like this cop that Juke is working for is not as bad as the rest of them. So we then get to see Kanan and Juke have an interaction since he got whooped on by Uncle Marvin. And Jukebox is trying to understand like if he really actually shot Lou. And Kanan's like, yeah, I did shoot him, but I didn't mean it. And, you know, Juke is kind of like, you still lied. Like, why would you not tell the family? That's not okay. Like, Juke went off on Kanan, and you could tell that the words that Juke was given were actually resonating. But Kanan tries to blame it on Rock, saying this is all because of her. And Juke called out what we all, the audience, have been calling out. Like, you cannot say in one area that you're a man and you're grown and on your own while running around acting like a bitch, shout out Mama D, because you throwing a temper tantrum and you mad at your mommy. And that's really what's happening. Eventually, Kanan has to grow up and realize if you're going to be in the streets and with it, then be with it. Stop trying to make everything about Rock. Stop trying to make everything about Rock. It doesn't make any sense for him to do that. Now, Juke walked away from him, and it looked like Kanan's going to take that. Not only did he get whooped on, but now his favorite cousin is mad at him. Now, Breeze is still following the colorless as we continue through the episode. And we see that Famous's mom goes to see Rock because she found some stuff because she's going to be moving, and she found some of Kanan's things, and she wanted to return them. Rock and her are bonding over the fact that they've both lost someone. And it's unfortunate because Rock really did try to be that mom to encourage her child to stay in school and then let him get into this, and it really did change him. Famous's mom has no idea that Rock is part of the reason that he is unalived. Like, it's just a lot of moving parts. But it was nice to see Rock actually be like somewhat empathetic. Like, normally when people cry, you know, Rock's very matter of fact. So what? What are we talking about? We got to make money. Like, she's very matter of fact and to the point, not so much about her emotions. So it was really nice to see her offer Sean's mom, aka Famous, the tissue box and give her some affection. Me and my husband was laughing like, look at Raquel getting affectionate. It's unfortunate, but I appreciated seeing his mama because I feel like we definitely want the situation with Famous to be resolved, especially considering that this is the last season. But let me know how you guys feel, because I always say, you know, when I do these reviews, it's just my opinion, but I know that everyone has different opinions, and that's totally fine. Let me know what y'all's is in the comments. So after all of that happens, Breeze goes to Stefano, gives him his intel. It's like one of the dudes don't have too much security. One of them has a lot of security. And he recommends to Stefano that he back off and let it go. He's like, we already crumbled Rock. Why do we need to keep going with this? And Stefano explains he wants blood. He wants blood. This stuff with Rock is personal. He's kind of moving like Kanan in some ways, Stefano. Like, you're so focused on Rock and she's in a whole different area. She's not interrupting your business, even though you're in her hood. What more do you want? What more do you want? But Breeze is trying to advise him. And Breeze came on the show looking like somebody who didn't really think too much, but is looking like he is smart, because Breeze was giving good advice to Kanan and to Stefano. Now, I hollered in the next scene because Marvin kicked in the door to Kanan's apartment with a shotgun. Okay, kicked through, shot through, walked in. And he was like, I can't do this, man. And walked out of there. He changed his mind. He changed his mind. And that is relevant because he scares everybody up in there. Now we get to see Detective Garcia asking Captain Batiste to his face at his retirement party of all places. He's asking about Famous's case, and pretty much Detective Baptiste threatened him and was like, don't talk to me whatsoever, and went back into his party. Now, other little things that happen in the show that are relevant is Breeze gives Kanan a car and pretty much gave him the "you my brother, I love you," but he gave him the gangsta "I love you." You know what I'm saying? But I'm wondering when Breeze is going to learn that, what is it, DEF CON? I hope I'm getting the name right, y'all. I'm doing a lot off memory. I did these notes fast. But I'm wondering when Breeze is going to find out, or if he finds out that DEF CON is not really Kanan's dad and he's on some fraudulent type stuff. Wondering about that. But I think it was nice, and you could tell that after getting cussed out by Juke, Kanan really thought about it. Maybe he feel lonely because he accepted the car and was very nice. Maybe he feels a little lonely, or like, okay, at least this person values family. But Kanan is spoiled, as quiet as it's kept. I know a lot of people may not get me there with that opinion of his character, but he's low-key spoiled. His mama was always there to help him out of stuff. She was well respected in the hood. The same thing with his dad. So nobody messed with him too much because of that. And then he threw a fit about not going to school, and his mama allowed him to get into the street game. And then he threw a fit because his mom wouldn't do the stuff that he wanted her to do as it related to running the streets. So Kanan, everything he does is just a fit when he doesn't get his way. And to me, that says spoiled. That's just how I feel. Now, Detective Garcia is going home, and Captain Baptiste pulled up on him. And we learned that Snaps and Pop, the couple that is working with Kanan and Breeze, are responsible for unaliving Famous. But I mean, we're not really learning because we kind of knew that. But this is where Detective Garcia learns this. And we know that Detective Garcia, everything he finds out is eventually going to come back to Juke. Now, the captain threw him a bone and pretty much explained that Garcia was like the only clean cop in their little district of where they work. And I thought that was absolutely crazy. But honestly, police, America, really police in most countries, I just do not trust. Like, I know there's some good, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Okay. But that was a very interesting development. Now, Kanan discovers that Marvin came by. His whole crew is scared. They don't want to work because they're like, listen, he came in here shooting and decided to change his mind at the last minute. Let's just call a spade a spade. They feel involved in the family drama, which has gotten way out of hand and way past dysfunctional. They're explaining that, and one of the guys is speaking up and trying to advocate and speak to Kanan appropriately, and Kanan popped him. He unalived him and was like, anybody else scared? And I said this, where Kanan became lethal, because we have to remember, ain't these little raggedy boys that was selling for him, his little friends from high school. Marvin has said that when they were looking for one of them or ran one of them off the road. So, I get it, because you got to do what you got to do to be respected. But at the same time, I'm wondering, Kanan, when are you going to start thinking about the fact that this stupid little crybaby beef you got with your mama is impacting your operation, ability to make money, and your reputation? Like, come on, Kanan. Come on. Now, Marvin is seeing Flossie, and she gave him some good advice about getting even and how it doesn't help and it's not worth it. I'm hoping Marvin listens to that advice, because we know Marvin is very quick to touch the trigger. And Kanan, Breeze, and Stefano, they are doing a deal with Hafiz and his crew. Hafiz and his crew are a crew that was working with and for Rock. Now they're not going to be working for her because Kanan, Breeze, and Stefano offered them a better price for the product and pretty much more protection. That's going to be a problem for Rock. That's also going to cause a problem for Kino, who told Stefano's hard-headed behind not to come for her and to just let things go. But of course, Stefano don't listen. Breeze got to do what he say. And Kanan don't think, he just react. So it's just a hot mess express with them three. Now, Detective Baptiste gets all dressed up to take his own life. And I was not surprised by this, because what did my husband say when we was watching the episodes? Mr. Best was like, he couldn't enjoy his retirement. Can you imagine being on retirement and just wondering when somebody's going to knock at your door to tell you, not only have you been forced to retire, no one respects you in the department, but now we're investigating you for so on and so forth? Because Detective Baptiste is the one who gave Snaps and Pops the information about Famous so that they knew how to get to him so they could unalive him. He felt a tremendous amount of guilt, and knowing that somebody else has looked into it, you could tell that it really just messed with his head. But R.I.P. Baptiste. R.I.P. to you. I forgot all about him, but it does make sense. He should not have been able to stay, in the department, especially with all that he did. But at the same time, that was Kanan's actual daddy's fault. Now, Marvin introduces the little colorless lady, the little colorless niece that he has, that he's been protected and trying to get to, not tell the police of what she saw Marvin do. He has her with Juke and tells them he wants them to look out for each other in case, something happens to him, because Flossie told him to pour into his daughter. And Marvin, pretty much, Juke figures out that Marvin unalived somebody and asked her to have the cop to look into it. We're going to come back to that. Breeze ends up asking Kanan if he's going to put down Rock. And Kanan says that he wants to show her what they got. And Breeze explains that all of the stuff between Kanan and Rock is personal, and it's not fair for him to expect for the crew to just go rogue and be coming after Rock and her crew, putting themselves in danger because of some beef that a little boy has with his mommy. So Kanan is hearing this over and over. And I was happy that Breeze told him to slow the hell down because he's doing too much and somebody has to teach him to think before he reacts. Listen, when Kanan was in Power, okay, the first Power book, Season What a Power, when I say that was the most entertaining seasons, he was actually somebody that added to stuff and actually did think a little bit. So maybe Breeze is the person who helped to shape how he thinks. It could be that. It could not be. However, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. But I'm glad somebody told him. Kanan done heard from Juke and Breeze. Relax and calm down. You're making all these sensitive moves because you mad at your mama. Is giving bitch, not man. He has to figure it out. Now, Rock learns that Hafiz and his crew are working with Stefano, Kanan, and Breeze, and she is not happy whatsoever. She doesn't fully know that they are the ones, but we know that she's going to figure out who it is, and she's hell-bent to get some sort of revenge. While that is happening, Detective Garcia and Juke are meeting, and Detective Garcia gives the money back and says he can't do this. I think that clean cop comment actually impacted him. He's like, dang, if I take this money and do this, I'm not a clean cop, and I'm the only one. And really, that should be the goal. I don't think anybody goes into policing, with the exception of a select few who probably have colonizing ancestors, but I digress. But I don't think too many people go into policing just saying, I'm going to screw people over. You know, so it was nice to see, for Detective Garcia to protect his integrity. And Juke was okay and relieved as well because she's like, she don't want to keep up with that. She's not about that life. And I feel like kind of them accepting that they're both doing stuff that's outside of what they need to do for their family. I'm wondering if Juke is going to get cool with Garcia, and if he is, how she's going to get into the police force. Because in Power, Juke's character was a police officer. She was a coochie-eating cop. And I want to see if this is how that happened. If you are still here, I do hope you consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, or hyping the video. It does help. And if you are not, I still appreciate you for watching because it all helps the channel and helps me get into the algorithm. Now, Jarita decided that she don't want to be a hoe no more. She said that this young man, Kanan, who lied to her in the beginning of how they met, is going to take care of her. Only a hoe would have these thoughts. And she goes to quit, and she tells, Kanan she's done quitting. She brings him with her, and then he goes into Flossie's spot. But Flossie was prepared for Kanan, pulls a gun on his head, and I was cracking up because this little melanin redacted lady said, "You are so lucky my carpet is there." I'm not mad at her, okay? Do you know how hard it is to get blood out of anything? I'm not mad at you, Flossie. I wouldn't have been mad either. But I would have at least shot him in his ankle or like his kneecap, somewhere where he'll bleed, but it's real easy to control. But then also that he can't get you back. Because Kanan, he's still a man. If he want to overpower her and knock that weapon out of her hand, in my head, he could do that. But Flossie is like, what is going on? And learns because she's thinking that one of her hoes just set her up. Can't trust a hoe, okay? They always say, can't turn a hoe to a housewife. They be telling y'all. But what it turns out is she really couldn't trust the hoe. But what it turns out is that she learns that Kanan is Rock's son. And we didn't get to see what she did, but I have a feeling Flossie's going to put that gun down. I just get that feeling. And there's still some type of innocence to Kanan, but I don't trust him, and I feel like he may unalive Flossie. But we will see. And if he unalives Flossie, y'all know that's going to piss Marvin off. Because Marvin got a habit of making friends in weird places, and Flossie is now one of his friends. So you might get your ass whooped again, Kanan. Tread lightly. Tread lightly. Now, the episode ends with Marvin helping out Rock. Looks like she's getting her get back for Hafiz and his crew turning their back on her. Rock unalive somebody, but it was the way she came around that corner before she did it, with the trench coat to the ankle, the thigh-high boots, body was tea, hair was bouncing and behaving. We see you, Rock. Beautiful woman, but she unalived somebody. She looked good while doing it, though. She did look good while doing it. But I am curious to see where else Raising Kanan does. Now, take note to the Shy. Shout out Kevin Reynolds, because Kevin Reynolds said, from the audience perspective, he felt like the Shy review was a hate review. It wasn't. I just felt like they could have done a better job. Raising Kanan is doing a better job that I hope The Chi would have done, though. I just feel like for a final season, it should be fast-paced. The plot should connect. Things should get concluded. I feel like we're getting to that with Raising Kanan. However, let me know how you guys felt about this episode. Let me know if there's anything that I missed. I do love each and every one of you. I appreciate all of my subscribers. I appreciate those who watch as well. I will catch you guys on the next review for Raising Kanan. I will also be doing, for those who are interested in what else is happening on the channel, Put a Ring on It Cheat Hab. I'm going to be giving that a try with James. That airs on OWN. I'm also going to be covering, oh gosh, Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, the 20-year anniversary, Housewives of New York, Snowfall's The Drop, Fightland, which premieres on STARZ tomorrow. There are a lot of new shows and things that I'm adding. I do appreciate everybody who supports the channel. I hope y'all consider streaming also B3ST. You can have a good little Bay Area slap. Enjoy him. And I will see y'all next time. Au revoir.